Now I am starting the stream. I am starting the stream. Now I'm awake, this is not just a dream. And I've been coloring in, and this piece of paper that is moving is the little bit that I colored in, and hopefully it looks okay. But yes, that's roughly what you're going to get if you... Anyway, I am singing a song now to introduce the stream. And when I think about it tomorrow, it won't seem like a dream, because the line between dream and reality is faint. And this is me. Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good whatever it is, wherever you are. I am Bez, and this is an unusual show. This is not Bezzy Beats and Board Game Bladder. This is me doing a closing ceremony. This is me appreciating everyone who's been part of a wonderful Kickstarter. It's not my biggest Kickstarter ever, but that's not the point. Like, it's been fantastic. It's been my second biggest Kickstarter ever. And like, there's that teeny bits of you in my mind that says the second. Like, the bits in Father's head where they go, oh, you're maybe the second best priest. Oh, you're the second best priest. But in all seriousness, like, this is the second most popular Kickstarter. It's 287 backers at this moment. And hello, Flo, it is a delight to see you. Thank you for joining me. And sorry I've not been streaming at a US friendly time for a long time. It is a delight to have you. Thank you. And I guess I should say, yes, if anyone has not yet backed my Kickstarter, then please do go and check it out. There is still 1 hour left. But yes, it has been a delight. I've gotten some questions lined up for myself. I'm not going to... When I'm in the morning, I did a whole what's happened recently, blah, 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 blah. The only thing I'll say is that I have done this amount of colouring in. And so I'm going to say, yes, if you get the coloured in version, expect 52 drawings of roughly this quality. So there'll be 52 creatures that are holding bananas or commiserating on things on anything. Thank you very much for backing, Flo. I do 100% appreciate it. And I am going to quickly do the little thing where I go to YouTube, I open up that in another video, and I will copy paste the little questions that I asked myself. And then unless anyone has any other questions that you want to ask right now, I will interview myself. So let's crack on with it. Closing ceremony for a game about quickly grabbing creatures. That's also the difference in counting your vegetables, whether that's beetroot or whether that's radishes. I've not got... Oh, here are some radishes. Or whether it's radishes or whether it's the original turnips. I should be careful because I've got greasy hands and I don't want to mess up all my drawings. But yes, a game about quickly grabbing creatures that are totally different and counting your vegetables. So how has it been? How will it get made? That's what I'm going to talk about. Firstly, what is the game? If you have not checked it out, or if you just want to hear me spout about it for a few seconds once again, there's a bunch of creatures. The creatures might have 2 eyes, or no eyes, or this has also got no eyes, or 3 eyes, or whatever. And the eyes need to be different of every creature that you grab. The number of arms need to be different. The number of legs needs to be different, and that's the thing. It all came from me thinking, there's loads of matching games. What if there's a game where you don't match anything? Then Andrew Beardsley said, oh, what if there was turnips? What if there was something extra, something exciting? Well, how would that work? Well, turnips are totally different to creatures. You can go creature, turnip, creature, turnip. Well, how to stop people? You need a limit on how many you can have. The correct number turned out to be 5. So you can have 5 portions of veg, whether that's 1 turnip on a card or 2 beetroots on a card or a whole bunch of radishes on a card. 1 card containing vegetables is 1 portion. You can have 5 cards that have vegetables. You want to grab the most creatures you can. And then at a certain point, you want to start grabbing these vegetables. It's got, yeah, sure, it's got the looking carefully. Do I see a match? Yes. Put it back. Do I see a match? No. Well, keep it. Brilliant. And then you keep on looking. It's got that aspect, but it's also got the aspect of, oh, do I see a vegetable card? Do I want to take it? Am I stuck now? Do I? And so, what is it? It's a game. It feels fairly similar to a lot of speed games. If this game did not exist, I don't think, look, I'm going to be honest, it's not like a game about wee whimsical creatures and trying to identify them after someone makes noises. It's not like a game about drawing creatures that then complementing the drawings and complementing the complements. It's not something where you'd go, wow, this is completely different to anything else in my collection. It does have similarities. It is kind of similar to other games, but it does bring its own unique twist. And I'm not going to stand here and say, this is the most amazing, unique game ever. That would be a lie, but I'm still proud of it. And so, yeah, but let's get to what are Bezzy bargain bags. That's my next question to myself. What are Bezzy bargain bags? Bezzy bargain bags are meant to be a way for me to experiment. Let me actually sorry, just a second. I'm going to put thing here. What's our Bezzy bargain bags? So yes, Bezzy bargain bags, it's all about experimentation. It's all about offering something to people at a low cost. It's all about saying, hey, I want to make a whole bunch of games, and I am struggling to make games in a box. Categorical is giving me so many nightmares. I can't. What can I do? Inspired by cheap ass games who used to make games that cost $2 or $3, but they were only maybe like 5 cards, and then you had to use your own money and your own pawns and your own. They assumed you had a deck of playing cards, that you have some chips, that you have the basic pieces that a gamer might have. But I want to supply everything except for maybe pencil and pen. But then there's 2 ways that I want to reduce the financial. It's kind of a way of reducing the financial barrier. Because firstly, with the print and play option, it is just £1. And I do realize that actually print and play is a lot to ask of people. It is demanding. It is tricky. And I'm realizing that. Yes, if you are in a difficult financial state, then print and play is not the answer. That is not necessarily a game for you. A better answer might be a game that you play with 0 components, or a game that you play, I don't know, just giving stuff away. And that might be nice to do, but people who are on Kickstarter, I'm realizing, yeah, actually, they've got enough money that they are happy to put in a wee bit, which is why there's a lot more people backing for the physical copy than the, print and play copy. The whole, but Bezzy bargain bags, getting back to it, it's me basically saying, what is the absolute cheapest? What is the absolute cheapest I can sell something for? And can I do it for a £5? A £5 seems like a good round price. It's like £5. And go to a convention, it's like, go to Market Sol, £5 for a game. It's like a no-brainer. That's what I want it to be. I want to be able to go to places and £5, why not? And then people order it, £5, yeah, of course. Now, to be honest, this game did get away from that a little bit, because I started making different versions, and then you kind of want different versions to combine for higher player counts, and it ends up actually being a normal cost for a game, which is not what I wanted. I wanted the whole point to be, hey, here's a whole bunch of different games. And the whole idea of Bezzy Bargain Bags is experimentation. And so, yeah, let's get into that. Does experimentation matter? Is experiment... So, actually, let me get into my second question. How can we lower accessibility barriers? So, accessibility. You've got cognitive accessibility issues, you've got financial accessibility issues, you've got social capital accessibility issues, you've got color blindness, all sorts of things. Any game is about doing a thing, and then even if you aren't being judged at the end, even if you're not competing, even if you're cooperating, you've got to be able to do the thing. Now, with Candyland, that's pretty easy when the thing is literally just flipping over a card and then moving your pieces along. That's a fairly easy thing to do. But when the thing is to grab cards quickly, even if you aren't trying to be super awesome at it, that's still a challenging thing to do. If the thing is to pitch and explain why your object matches certain criteria, then that requires you to have a sense of social awareness. If the thing is about making noises, that requires you to... And so, but that is a kind of accessibility barrier that has to be in the game. If you're doing an interesting thing, if the thing is something that is exciting to do, that is core to the game. I'm not going to make yogi accessible to people who aren't able to touch their nose. It's a game about the physicality. I'm not going to make a game about quickly grabbing creatures that are totally different and counting your beetroots to be a game for people who can't think quickly. That is a core part of the game. And with all of these games, so the key isn't how can we eliminate accessibility barriers, but how can we lower them? How can we get rid of the unnecessary ones? And so it comes to simple things like, let me actually grab a few cards from over here. Like if we look at these cards, right? So you've got the Zero Eyes. The Zero Eyes is always in this kind of cone shape with one mouth. Then you've got the One Eye, and One Eye is always in this kind of square shape. It's sort of a bit more cat-like, and it's got one tiny mouth. And the Zero Eyes always has one big spiky mouth. It's a bit more similar. Then the Two Eyes, even if the eyes look a bit different, they're always in a round head. There's always a little flower on the side. And then the Three Eyes, it's got this kind of inverted pyramid shape, like a triangle, if you see what I mean, with the three eyes on tentacles. And so it's meant to be easy. It's not meant to confuse you. It was always meant to be, hey, here's simple stuff. And similarly, with the tentacles, if you look at the body of the creatures with tentacles, they are kind of like a triangle, kind of with the bottom. It's got a round tummy, whereas these ones with the four arms are kind of like an inverted triangle with the wide bits at the top. And then finally, if you've got the six wings, that's its own little kind, just a long cylinder, and that's probably the one that you're most likely to be able to tell apart. But again, the body shapes are all very different. And then again with the legs, two legs, let me grab something with two legs. Here we go. Two legs always comes with a skirt, and the shoes do vary, so there is a little bit of, oh, what's going on here? But they are very human. The four legs, they always have these chicken feet. They're always got these pointy out toes. and then the one leg is always a fishtail. It's always pointing in the same direction. And so, yeah, at least if you want to play this game and have it be easier, I would definitely recommend the beetroot version. And then let's talk about the other accessibility barriers, because it is a game about doing things quickly. But with jungle speed, with double, if you are half a second behind someone else, it's a lot of frustration. It's like, why am I even bothering to play? Almost. I mean, whereas if you're gathering your own cards, it does kind of reduce the interaction a little bit, but then at the same time, it's got the aspect of, hey, I'm actually getting my own things. I'm actually scoring. And even if I only pick up 5 cards and everyone else picks up 22, at least I've scored something. And then next time, if I pick up 7 cards, I might feel slightly better about that. Or if I pick up, and it's not about improvement, it's not about winning, it's not about giving your people an opportunity to win. People talk about catch-up mechanisms and think, oh, we need to have catch-up mechanisms so everyone can win. That's not the point. The point is everyone needs to be involved. Everyone needs to be doing something. Do you know what I mean? It's all about everyone needs to have something to, do basically, and feel a sense of agency, feel important, because that is what a game is. To me, a game has 4 aspects. It's got rules that we all agree to, that it's got the sense of, it's voluntary, so you are free to opt in, you're free to opt out, and you can stop playing at any time. That's the nature of a game. Once you say, no, you can't stop playing, that changes it into something not slightly more insidious. It's no longer play. And the third thing, it needs to have some sense of agency. You need to feel like you're doing something, like you're impacting the world, like you're the cause, like you are the effects, not just the affected, if you know what I mean. And then finally, there should be some sense of surprise or some sense of novelty or chance, and I do think that a good game maybe leans into those things. So make sure that there's a super strong sense of agency. That it's, if there's a game where at a certain point you, and this is a weird twist, that in a sense, if you can't lose a game on the first turn, then there wasn't any agency on that first turn. But if you can't, if you have lost the game on the first turn, then you might not feel a sense of agency from that point going forwards. And so within this game, because everyone's gathering up their own stack, it's not about what's your score, who's winning. It's about, I'm picking up one more card. Well, I've got, no, oh, no. Yeah, this one works. Okay, these two are totally different. And I'm grabbing up another one. And it's got that feeling of a quick puzzle just for you. I made an achievement. I did a thing. And that achievement gives you a sense of agency. I mean, games can give you achievements. Games can usually try to give you enjoyment. Games can absolutely give you connections. And I would love for my games to do all of those things. Let's talk about my next question to myself, which is, why is experimentation important? So, yeah, Bezzy bargain bags. I'm trying to make a whole bunch of things. So why is that important? Well, firstly, I want to be able to make a whole bunch of things so that it's a case of, let's see what people fall in love with. I would not have expected people to be ready to make noises in the numbers that they were. I would not have expected to be able to have like 550 copies of the game going out the door and going into Kickstarter backers' figurative hands, like into the post, into their doorstep, and then they open up the envelope, and then finally it's in their hands. But you know what I mean. But like, that's a game that I would not have felt comfortable making 1,000 copies of. No way. If you After the Kickstarter, sure. Like, I did end up printing 1,000 copies of, but beforehand, no. And like, here again, the point is, by saying I am able to make 100 copies, that means that I am able to make stuff. I am able to make a game about drawing creatures, complementing the drawings and complementing the compliments. A game that people have just, it's made them smile. I'm able to make this game, which is, yeah, it's more similar to a typical game that you might already expect to find on Board Game Geek or on the shop shelves, but it's an interesting game, and even experimentation within a genre, like, it doesn't have to be inventing an entirely new genre. You can experiment by virtue of saying, hey, what if we were doing this slightly different thing? Let's try making let's try making 10 different games in a year, and not all of them are going to be completely radical and completely revolutionary. Some of them are going to be very minor tweaks on styles of games that already exist. Some of them will be styles that there is no name for. But I think that it's super important because games are important, and games haven't reached the depth of where they could be. Games can do so much more than they are currently doing. I believe that both for myself to feel like, hey, I've managed to contribute something. I don't know exactly what's great. Let's get it out there. I don't have a team to do a lot. And there's a sense of, yes, some of this is kind of testing. In a way, there is a sense that, look, all of these games have been tested. I don't want to downsell myself, but all of these games are still at the point where I don't know. Is there a market? Is there not? Let me get it out there, and if people fall in love with it, then I will keep making it. Maybe I will one day sell this game to a bigger publisher. Maybe I will sell it. Maybe I'll license it, and then they'll sell tens of thousands of copies, and I'll get royalty checks like I do for Yogi. And you'll be able to say, "Oh, I got this, version that was illustrated by Bez back when it was a Bezzy bargain bag. That's how it started," and you can be a sort of hipster about it. But it's experimentation. Some of it's important for games, and some of it's just important for me, honestly. Okay. And like I say, with all these questions, these are just things that I've asked myself, so please do jump in with your own comments or replies or questions to any of these things. And if you're watching live, then please ask away. If you're watching after the fact, then I do try to reply to all the comments on YouTube and Facebook. So, is this game really an experiment? That is a big question, and that kind of, yeah, wow. Just give me a moment while I have a drink. I think it is an experiment, but it's a much smaller one. Again, it's not an entirely new genre. It is the kind of thing where you feel like, oh wow, this didn't already exist. There wasn't already a game where you had to just avoid matches. That's a bit weird. And yeah, is this game an experiment? Honestly, this game isn't an experiment that is going to change the life of anyone who isn't me. I could imagine a game about drawing creatures, complementing the drawings and complementing the compliments, changing the life of someone. I could imagine lots of people seeing my games that involve noises and then saying, wow, games can do this. I can imagine like the game that we're probably going to get as part of this with bits of colouring in. But here, this isn't a grand experiment for the industry. This is just an experiment for me. And I think that that's okay. So the next question was, who should back while they still can? Who should back? Yeah, who should back? I mean, I would love everyone to back. I made the £1 what I was considering a cheap pledge level because I wanted it to be a no-brainer. I wanted it to be like, yeah, you get all the digital files for £1 because there isn't any incremental cost for me. At the same time, I am aware that at a certain point, if people pay £1, they're almost as likely to pay £2 or £3. But then, actually, this gets. I do want to talk about. Let me make a wee note. I want to talk about community copies because to lower. Let me community copies. Let me make a note. But who should back? I would say if you're within the UK and if you are interested in a game that's speedy, that's quick, that you are able to enjoy things and get a sense of a rush, and there's like one tiny decision to be made. Basically, if it sounds like fun, get a copy. I think it's a good price. And if you're elsewhere, I would say that, yeah, if you're wanting to support me, then I would suggest backing it for £1, even if you're abroad. Hello, Y2K John. It is lovely to have you. Thank you so much. It's lovely to see you. And as the little thing said, 10 a.m. UK time is when I normally stream. Y2K John says, if I'm buying 2 packs, which 2 would you recommend to go with each other? I would say, do you like black and white art? And how many people are you likely to play with? If it were me, I would personally get beetroots and turnips and get the red coloured beetroots in. If it were me, I would actually, you know what? If it were me, I would get beetroots and radishes. Get the beetroots, play the beetroots when there's 2 or 3 of you, get used to it, and then once you're okay, we're comfortable with this, then add the radishes. And with the radishes, it's going to be more confusing, and you'll, it'll be like going up a difficulty level. So that's what I would recommend. And it is a lot to process. And again, that gets me into the whole thing of there's a lot to buy here. John says, I'll be playing with 4 people and I like the colour. If you're playing with 4, I would stick with the simpler ones. I would stick with turnips and beetroots. Turnips has a good amount of colour in it. Beetroots is just red, but look, you don't have to decide right now. All you have to decide is how many you want. And if you like radish, this is roughly how the radish edition is going to be coloured in. This is a quick colouring in. I'm probably going to this was like a test. So here is the actual line art of the one eating the banana. I completely redrew it earlier this evening just to kind of do some testing to learn how to blend colours with the oil pastels because I've not used them in about 10 years. So this is my first ever time using oil pastels in the past 10 years. And so I'll do a bit more work to it, but it'll be at least, it's not going to be, like, part of me does wonder whether it would have been better to get someone else to colour these in, because even, or to maybe do a watercolor job myself. Watercolor might have been better in retrospect, but I've committed to it. I've decided that this is the way going. I would honestly. Anyway, as I was saying, you don't have to decide right now. You just have to decide 2 is the number that I want. And so I would get, if you want it to be easy, turnips and beetroots. If you want it to be difficult, I would say turnips and radishes, because then it's a bit more colourful. That's what I would say. And can get the backing. We're on 287 backers. I'm going to do a wee bit of a refresh. I know it automatically refreshes, but 28 minutes to go. So, yes, who should back? Basically, if you like the sound of the game, or if you want to support me, or indeed, if you like the sound of, yeah, that's pretty much it. You are very welcome, John. Thank you for the question. The next question that I had lined up for myself was, how did the campaign go? How am I feeling about it? I mean, it's not like it's quite in the past tense yet, but how did it go? Well, if you look at 12 created, so I've done 12 previous Kickstarter campaigns, and look, so in a bind, my first one, 173 backers. That actually, if I think in terms of money, it's not quite as much as that, which was about £3,000, but it feels like In a Bind was so much more work. And all of this is contextual. In a Bind took me years and years to make, and then it took me the better part of a year to actually get out the door. Whereas this, the thing about the Bezzy bargain bags is they're about experimentation, they're about allowing me to do things, they're about lowering my stress. And I started making it in 2020 before the pandemic, but I've been working on a lot of things, and then there was a big break between March 2020 and I want to say August 2021. And then, October, I brought it back out. I was like, okay, what else can I work on? Oh, this is an interesting idea. Let's try it. And then I tried it, and then I made it. I did a small print run of 100, and I sold out. And I was like, oh, great, people like it. And then I thought about the beetroots versions, and I was like, oh, what if there was even a radish version? Let's do a Kickstarter for this. Let's see how it goes. Why is that not? Sorry, that was the wrong thing. So it's been a lot simpler. And when I look at In a Bind Junior, 61 backers like that, the other thing about the Bezzy bargain bag, I'm going to be honest, because it says only £5, I don't stress as much about the art. If it was like £12, I would not feel good about this. And every time I do a piece of artwork, every single thing that I draw, I have to remind myself, don't worry, Bez, it's only a Bezzy bargain bag. It's like £5. It doesn't need to be perfect. I know this isn't maybe I should have more confidence. Maybe I should do better artwork. But I mean, I think the colors are kind of more nicer if you look a bit closer. But I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not. There's a lot of board games out there that do have nicer artwork, and I feel more confident. I feel less stressed about it. I feel better. I mean, Wibble++, that was a campaign that lasted so long. 190 backers. The website, okay, 6 games, exploring words, letters, and language. It still only got me 280 backers. Like, that's a lot. That was massive. That was my biggest Kickstarter for ages. And it did get me I can't remember what the funding total was there. 5,091. So that was quite a big campaign. Then Kitty Cataclysm, okay, people like cats too. Categorical, that let's not talk about that. That's not been delivered. I've got trouble printing full-scale boxes, and then I've gone to these Bezzy bargain bags where people really responded to this one. 814 backers, that's amazing. I thought, okay, maybe it's because it's a Bezzy bargain bag. Maybe it was a cheap price. Maybe it was, but I think it was also because of what it was. I think it was because people are, oh, noises, that's fun. And it was fun. And I'm actually really encouraged that people are into that sort of experimentation. Flo says, I love your artwork. I find it charming. You can be proud of your art. Thank you, Flo. And I do try to not let the kind of niggle at me so much, but I hope you get what I'm saying. That I just would not feel comfortable when someone's saying, oh, I want to buy it through the Game Crafter, and it's like, well, if you bought it through the Game Crafter, I'm going to have to charge you like $13, which feels more than I want to charge. But at the same time, like, maybe I should go there. And yeah, I am going to explore definitely more international shipping for my next thing. But I do massively appreciate everyone who backs it internationally. How did the campaign go? It went well. And it didn't go gangbusters. It wasn't anywhere close to my biggest campaign ever, but it was my second biggest. And there is a sense of disappointment of, oh, it wasn't as big as that one. But when all is said and done, for the fact that hopefully maybe within 1 month, I expect all of this to be done in terms of pre-production. Within a month, I'm actually going to get there in a minute, but I have a really busy end of the month right now. I have to finish a LARP before the end of the month. Then Now Play This is a festival from around the 10th of April, and I am exhibiting in it. Seize the Power, a game about discrimination and subjugation of power. I need to get something ready. That's all going to be done on the 10th of April. I will try to do as much of the artwork as I can before then. Ideally, I'll do a good chunk of it this weekend. Ideally, all the black and white art will be done within the next within the next few days, and ideally on Thursday, Chris will scan it in, and then I'll spend some time after that coloring it all in. Will that happen? I don't know, but I do feel confident saying yes, by the end of April, there's no reason why it shouldn't all be illustrated, all be colored. I'll send it off to get printed. It takes about 2 weeks. It'll come to me, and then we can definitely ship off 100-ish in a day. We've done it before, and there's now a post office which is 5 minutes walk away, so it's actually relatively easy. Anyway, how did the campaign go? It's gone okay. It's gone well. Yeah, that's it. And I think I was slightly spoiled by my previous one. But if every Bezzy bargain bag does as well as this one, I will be immensely grateful. That's how it went. Were there any surprises, good or bad? I've touched a little upon that I think I did have false expectations based on the previous one. Going into it, I saw that there were 50 people already signed up for it, so I knew that I wasn't going to go as gangbusters as the previous one that had like 200 people signed up for it. I think that surprises, I didn't see a lot of an uptick on the final 2 days. I was expecting a bit of an uptick. I was expecting, because historically, Kickstarters have about a third of their funding in the first day, and then a third of their funding in the middle, and then a third on the final couple of days. And that's not quite been the case here. It's been basically 2/3 on the first day and a half, and then just going down. Like, if I stop the screen for just a moment and then I go to KickTrack, so actually look at the daily data, because it's got better graphs. So we can see here, like in terms of backers per day, so that's in terms of money, that's in terms of raw backers, and it does seem to follow a very similar graph, except for this day we've had some generous people. But look at this, like there's what number is that? 139 on the first day. So we got almost 50% on the first day. Then 42, so that would bring it up to, by the end of the first day, we were almost at 200. So it feels like, yes, there has been a little bit of an increase. That was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Maybe Tuesday is actually when it went up, because I noticed, or actually Tuesday night, people get the 48-hour reminder. And so the 48-hour reminder, maybe people did remember, but... And why is there this tiny bit that goes up? Although when we're talking like 7 backers, 18 backers, it's just random chance, whether someone sees a social media post that day, someone sees a Facebook thing that day, whatever. I don't think that was basically my surprise, that I didn't get as much of an uptick at the end as I thought I would. And that was pretty much it. And also, I think the other thing that I really learned is that it was a reminder of how few people are willing to do print and play. I asked in a Facebook group, why do I only have 44% doing print and play? I thought it would be a lot more. Because all the people overseas, do they not want this game? Or are they not feeling like £1 is a generous offer, like it's good value for money? And people pointed out, yeah, but £1, then that's not the issue. The issue is that you need to spend the energy, you need to spend the effort constructing it, cutting out cards, and either you do it on cardstock, which costs money, or you put it in sleeves, which costs money, and it's not a trivial idea. So that wasn't a massive surprise, but that was a reminder of how much effort it really is, print and play. And so, that was mainly it. That was the main surprise. Is there anything that I'd want to do differently? On the other hand, is there anything that I'd want to repeat? I think that next time I would probably not want to make multiple copies of a game with one thing. The issue is that also the number of because there's 5 different copies. I'm in the UK. If it ends up that I need to get 50 copies of each type of deck, I can do that. But then I was thinking about doing an international version, but if I only had 40 international backers, let's say, I don't know the cost. And so I wanted Vagard, who was potentially going to help me to work out the sums to say, okay, this is what's going on there. This is like even if we get 50 backers for 10 backers for each different thing. Even if we've got 10 backers for one of the editions, we can still make it work. I need these contingency plans. And so I think that having multiple editions, it is a complication. It is slightly more stressful. And I'm just eating a radish, in case you wonder what I'm doing. Just taking off the bottom and the top. Having multiple versions, it's not something I would want to repeat. Hello, Luke Marcus. Thank you for following along, and I assume you came here from the campaign, and thank you very much for backing. I do appreciate it. And as I was saying there, if there's any questions that you want to ask, please do feel free to ask. Otherwise, I'll go through this list of questions I've written down for myself. But yeah, the things I would do differently, definitely I would not have so many versions because... But then the question is, how can I make this a new thing for Kickstarter? And part of me wonders if I should... Look, my third Bezzy bargain bag, a game about drawing creatures, complementing the drawings and complementing the complements. I've been speaking to Chris, and we are going to make it a little bit nicer on the front. The second edition will definitely look nicer, and it'll be fresh enough for a Kickstarter version. But I really like the general idea of saying, okay, here's the game. I print 100 copies of the game. These 100 copies, they go to a convention with me. I keep maybe 10 of them for personal reasons, like myself, my family, my closest friends. I keep maybe 10 of them for marketing reasons to send off to reviewers. And then the other 80 I sell. And then at this point, the 10 that have gone to reviewers, they should maybe be able to help me get the game out there. But I think that I'm almost wondering whether I should actually frame it as the Kickstarter is to kickstart the next game. And if you back it, you will get the print and play files of this game plus that game straight off the bat. And you are supporting the creation of that next game. I don't know how good that next game will be, but you will also be getting this one. And I just wonder whether that's a interesting way to frame it. Because really, at this point, what are these Kickstarters funding? Yes, they are funding, like the last one, a game about wee whimsical creatures and trying to identify them after someone makes noises. Because of the profit that I got, I was able to... Luke Marcus says, I'm the man from Polish version. Oh, it's you. Thank you so much for offering to do the translation. Thank you so much. I do really appreciate that. And yeah, that was also a massive surprise. That was a delight. Sorry I didn't mention that. And it does make me wonder, with print and play editions, when I'm in Polish text, I would need special characters, presumably, because Polish letters, you have the little circles and all those things. I mean, could I just write it with English letters, or would that not really work? But I'm just pondering here. I'm just kind of thinking that, yeah, we could make, even in a language-specific version, it's not going to take more than an hour to go through and copy-paste the things through and to make the files totally new. But again, will people actually want the Polish version? Will people want to... And it gets into the question of, do people want to print and play? Do people want... would people pay £5 plus shipping if I got a special Polish edition and then actually printed them and then sent them over? because it's still going to cost me like £5, £8, no matter how few I sell to Poland. But yeah, it's I am not sure of the utility. I am not sure of the marketing potential is the truth. And it does feel like the USA is such a big market. But then again, it costs so much these days to send stuff within the USA, which kind of means that, okay, the English speaking UK and market is, and maybe it's really the affluent countries, but then that actually gets me to community copies. Anything that I would do differently, I would really think about community copies. So for those who don't know what a community copy is, it's become a big thing on itch.io. Just give me a moment. It's just water with effervescent vitamins in it. Delicious. And so yes, community copies. The idea is that with a digital game, if I'm charging £10, sure, the price of this game is £10. I want to be paid for my work. You don't always have to get a physical thing to pay money for it. Labor is worth money. I mean, and I say it's like a weird thing. I have done labor myself for free. I've worked with other people for free. I've volunteered for conventions. I've helped publishers myself, but it's fine to charge for your labor. That's why we've got digital games. Like why Steam games on Steam and games on the App Store, they cost money, even though it's not actually costing them any money to send it to you. Now, there's an interesting thing there. Because there's no incremental cost, you could say, well, for a certain number of people, we will give you a community copy. That means that if you're in a difficult financial situation, you can get all the digital files, and like on itch it would be normally like a digital game. Instead of paying £10 for it, you can get it for like 50p or £1. It's almost never free. Like a community copy, it has to be, it's normally something, so it's like, yeah, you still pay like maybe 50p for it, but it's something. I'm And Luke Marcus says, with this kind of project, the cost of shipping is way too much. Yeah, I get that. It's like when it's a cheap game, the cost of the shipping becomes way more than the cost of the game, which I wouldn't want to pay that. I would not want to pay that. Like if it was, but like with, again, going back to the Bezzy bargain bag idea, like if by the end of the year, if this time next year I have like 7 different games and it's like they're all good games and you want to buy all of them, then that's £35. And then maybe it still costs you £10 to get it, but then that's 7 games for £45, which is actually a pretty gosh darn good deal. But yeah, I get that if you are, you know, in Poland and you don't want to get shipping, then you are going to get the print and play. So I do appreciate that. But yeah, community copies. The idea is that you get some people to almost support other people getting it for free. I did it with one project in the past where actually with 2 of my projects in the past where I said, okay, if you can either pay the normal price or you can pay a bit extra. And if you pay a bit extra, that means that someone else will get this for cheaper, or it means that I will give one to a school, something like that. And I think that's a nice idea because obviously it's nice for me, but then it's also work for me. I can't just go to a school and be like, hey, boom, here you go. I have to be, hey, here's a game, and here's how you play it, here's how you integrate it into your class, here's why it's good in the curriculum. A teacher wants to know all these things, and we've got 3 minutes to go. 288 backers. Awesome. And I'm just going to plug in my laptop because it is about to die. Yay, it is plugged in. And yeah, community copies for me were very much from the Edinburgh indie RPG zine, where the idea was that, hey, this magazine, we will actually send you out a physical magazine for £1. If you can't afford it, someone else has basically sponsored it. And each time someone else sponsored it, they would increase the number of backers that could get the tiny £1 version. And so that's like something that I would definitely consider as a financial barrier. But again, I don't think it's about the finances. Like when we're talking £5, I don't think that's the issue. But I do wonder whether I could say, okay, if you pay £7 as an add-on, then you're basically donating no questions asked copy to someone in the world. Oh, hello, J. Folsgard. Thank you very much for backing. I do appreciate it, and I am generally well. And Luke Marcus says, I think the key is to make a good game for people in the country and then the same good print and play version for people all around the world. So there are 3 key things to remember. 1, create a print and play version as a low pledge. 2, make the graphic language independent. And 3, make a lot of rulebook languages. Thank you very much, and I really appreciate you coming to make it so that if anyone else from your country wants to play it, they can. And I guess once you've written these rules, if you're happy to translate also my designer notes once that's done, and I'll include a little bit of text about the difference between the turnips and beetroots and radishes in the rulebook. I'll probably just have one big long rulebook for all 3 editions because it is the same game. You don't need to go into the details. But I very much appreciate that. And obviously that's only something that I can do with the help of other people. And I do very much wonder whether community copies are a thing that I would want to do. Maybe saying, okay, it's a £7 reduction. So that way, if it's going to Poland from here, how much would it actually cost? Let me, you know what, I am going to go to Royal Mail prices. Let's see the current prices. Remember, actually, there's a find a price. Get a price, that's the one I was looking for. Let's say it was going to Poland. And let's say it was 4 copies, so it would be 800 grams. And if we go for the really slow version, value of the item, so £9.50 for the international economy. So that would, I'm just pondering that. And then if I change that to actually 200 grams, and anyone can do this for themselves. Going to Poland, it would be £5.20 right now. So it's actually not that much to send it to Poland. And if I were to say, okay, here, but I know that is more than the cost of the goods. And also, like £5.20, I do also need to add on a little bit more for the packaging, and also I do need to think about the time taken to print, to do all of these things, to pack them all. But let's say we round it up, 50 pence for the packing materials, and yeah, let's. Oh, and also Kickstarter takes about 10%. So if I charged you £6 and I only get £5.40, so I need to charge £7, so I get £6.30. So I'm actually getting enough to cover my costs. So if I'm charging £7, then yeah, it's costing more than the cost of the game, and it feels wrong, doesn't it? That doesn't feel great at all. Oh my gosh, it finished. I wasn't on the screen when it finished. 288 backers. Well, thank you very much for everyone. That is fantastic. It is, as I wrote, my biggest Kickstarter as of last summer. Currently, it's my second biggest Kickstarter, but yeah, it just feels like overall, yes, I would do just the one thing, and there's a lot that went right. I think the short campaign, I was able to keep up a bit of momentum. I was able to keep posting in all the places. I was able to, get a good few reviews. Hopefully everyone scanned down and got a really good sense of what they're actually buying. I would, try and keep doing that. I would try and keep experimenting and try and keep making Bezzy bargain bags. That's what I would want to repeat. Let's see if there's many. So what will people get, and when will they get it? That's my last question to myself. So that seems like a reasonable thing to finish up on. So what will people get? As I said before, if you backed for a physical copy, then you will choose later on. I will send out a survey and I will say, hey, do you want this version? Or do you want this version that hasn't been scanned in yet, but this is a Radish version where they've got props and stuff? Or do you want the Radish version but in black and white? Or do you want the turnip version? Or do you want the beetroot version but in red? And everyone will get the choice of which version they want. When will they get it? How will I make sure that they get it? Well, you'll notice that the pledge levels were divided into groups of 100. So the first one, I'll send out all the surveys, but then the people who backed first, who said, yes, I want this earlier, they will get their copy sent out first. And then the people in the second tier will get their second, and then the people in the third tier will get those after that. My plan going forwards, as I said, is to I'm going to do a bit more colouring in tonight. I'm going to carry on doing some finish colouring this in, doing some experimentation with oil pastels. I will have a decent sleep tonight. I'll make sure that I enjoy going to playtest tomorrow. I found that if I only concentrate on one thing at a time, that's not a good way for me to work. I want multiple things going on at once. And I'm going to try and, as I say, get all the artwork done by the end of the month. I will keep you updated. I'm not going to send an update every day now that it's over. I'm going to try and send an update maybe once a week until maybe once every week or 2 weeks. And then, yeah, we'll probably have quite a bit of information going forwards, and I'll kind of let you know every week. I'll send an update on one of the days-ish. you'll know what's happening. I'll send a survey. I'll ask you, okay, what versions do you want? You can see all the versions. Chris has scanned them in. This is all the graphics. Now I know how many to print. Once I know how many to print, I'll print them. I'll get them. And then Chris will help me with all the shipping labels. Honestly, like, Chris is amazing. Like, I have, again, like, this profits from this are not going to help me make this. It's not like, sure, the money from this does facilitate the creation of it. It does facilitate the printing, but really the money from this is facilitating the next thing. And thank you so much, Matt. I massively appreciate your support throughout all these years. But I hope that doesn't seem disingenuous or insincere to say yes. Each Kickstarter, and this is the way that it should be working, there is a profit from a Kickstarter that you then put into the next thing. Like for a game about wee whimsical creatures and trying to identify them after some noises, I made a profit. And then I worked out, hey, Chris, I can afford to pay you with the profit of this for so many months to come in 2 days a week. And Chris was like, brilliant. And Chris enjoys working for me more than they do with their other job. I pay them the same amount. Their other job is data entry. For me, they're sometimes doing more creative stuff. And so, yes, they were continuing to, it meant that we were able to work on future stuff together. Chris is scanning stuff for me, putting it all together, getting it done. If it was just me on my own, I wouldn't have the energy. I wouldn't, having a second person to take the toll off makes such a big difference. Like, even, and at some point, I would love to be in a position where I'm earning so much that not only can I have Chris here 2 days a week, but I'm also able to, yeah, get a bit of an income myself for all the work that I'm doing. That I've not gotten to that point yet, but I am really enjoying it. And honestly, what I'm hoping is that some of these games are going to be picked up by bigger publishers or afterwards. Yeah, that's basically what I'm hoping. And what will people get? When will they get it? Right now, everyone will probably get their stuff sent out in May. Yes. Yep, that seems reasonable to say. So yeah, before UK Games Expo, I will definitely send everything out. Probably after, yep, probably after the convention in Norwich, Daicini. I might not have anything new from Daicini, I just realised. But I will do this art. I'll get it done. It won't be perfect. Nothing is perfect, but that will be okay. And I'm looking forward to getting it to you. I feel like I've answered all the questions. So at this point, I know it's not a normal Bezzy Beats and Board Game Bladder show, but I'm still going to go and ask a question of the day. Question of the day. Here's a little question before we go on our way. So, I've got my question to you first is, what would you like to see me come up with next? Actually, now that we've finished, I'm going to just I'm going to take off this screen just for a moment so I can double check the dashboard, and which has some potentially thingy information. Just see if anyone said anything. Okay. So in the past few hours, we had one cancellation and a few people backing. That was lovely. I mean, obviously not the cancellation. There's always the temptation to think, oh, what did I do wrong? Why did that person cancel? Is that because of me? And obviously it's not. And if I go into fulfillment, I can see that let me add in the screen. You can see a physical copy of any version, 249 backers. Now, I did say at 300 backers, I would upgrade the stickers. I'm not going to do that because we didn't get there, but I am going to work out the costs. I'm going to figure out what the cost of the sticker is, and yeah, they will be nice stickers. They will be nice stickers regardless. They will be stickers that are the size of the card, but they will not be semi-transparent. They will kind of have a white border, because even though I would love all my stickers to be like the nicest stickers with, this is a box with this, I don't know if you can see this okay. So like, it kind of looks so good, like the white creature on the background, and I would like all my stickers to be premium stickers, but I need to make sure that I can actually afford it. I can't just be making the nice things and then giving them away as a freebie. That's not commercially viable. So I need to actually look into the costs. But my question of the day is, what would actually before I get so my question of the day is, what would you like to see from me? What game would you like to see from me next? What would you like to see from me in the future? What would you like to see from me in future years? I'm not saying, oh, I am beholden to you. Well, your wish is my command. No, no, no. But what I am saying is, if you tell me you would like to see a particular thing, I'll take it under consideration at the very least. So that is my question to you. What would you like to see from me? Would you like to see me? What would you like me to change for my future Kickstarter campaigns? Which is a lovely way to lead into this one comment. Please, in your next project, include the game title and the actual project name on Kickstarter. Ah, yes, yes, yes. Okay. The problem there, you see, is that my game title was a little bit too long for Kickstarter. So, yes. You know what? I am going to say in future I will work to make my game titles short enough to fit on the to fit in the project's name on Kickstarter. I will double check how many characters I'm allowed, and I will make that the official limit on the length of all my future games. Yes, that seems like a reasonable request. Yeah. And Stream Element says, do the side-to-side stretch. Okay, I'm going to finish up in a minute. Stretch goals. Yes, I am not going to... I said that at 300 backers, I would give you all half a game. We only got to 288 backers. I'm not going to give you half a game. But what I will give you is a quarter of it, like a smidgen of a game. I am excited about this new game. Where can I... Oh, here it is. So let's see if you can see this. So there we go. Oh, no, that's upside down, sorry. This is Bird or Jumper. And hello, Alex. It is lovely to see you. And oh my gosh, Panda Angel. Hello, Panda. Thank you for the raid. I want you to know it's appreciated. Maybe it's morning or bedtime. Either way, it's a meeting of minds. I hope you're well. What did you do? I am interested in the story of you. Did you play a game? Did you have a chat? Let me know. Let's talk about that. Today, I just finished a Kickstarter. It finished about 15 minutes ago. And together, we've been chatting and talking about this and that, and about this little creature that looks a little bit like a cat. The one-eyed creature all looks like a cat. Hello, Phantom Meeple. It is lovely to have you joining. Thank you very much for following along. So yes, as I said, this Kickstarter just finished 16 minutes ago now, and I'm just kind of doing the wrap up. I'm been doing a closing ceremony, which is something that I'm starting to do with all my Kickstarters. Because like, why not? I like talking, I like streaming, and it feels like a nice 9 p.m. seems like a good time to do it. And good evening to you, Josie, as well. So yes, I was saying that if we got to 300 backers, I would have given half a game, but I am going to give a wee preview of a game instead. And so this is a brand new game. I invented it last weekend. It's a, this is not the name of the game. We've decided that the names of my games need to be short enough to actually fit in the Kickstarter project title. But yeah, it's a competitive coloring game for two people, where two people take turns coloring in part of an image, and then at the end you show it to someone else and says, what does it look like? So the full game would have multiple sheets. So half the game could be or a jumper. No, like I will give everyone two sheets, like at least once it's all done. So this version, it says bird or jumper, and one person's trying to make it look like a bird, one person's trying to make it look like a jumper. Maybe it should just be bird or clothing. Maybe that would. But this one, it's there we go. This way around, fish or car, and I'll see if I can find one of the sheets that has actually been filled in. So here's one that we did earlier. Which does this look like to you? Is it a fish or a car? And that's the entire game. So you start off with the coloring in sheet. At the end, you say to someone, hopefully someone who wasn't even watching you play the game, what does this look like? Fish or car? And then they look and say, and then whatever they say first, that is who the winner is. Of course, like it doesn't matter what people say now. The winner's already been decided. We decided our judging method and everything, but I am going to make that game, and I'm going to give people like a little thing as a bonus. Say, yeah, when I get to the point where I am actually done with the rules and I'm looking for quantitative data, then I will, share some sheets with you. Oh, Josie sees a dinosaur. Interesting. Oh, like because of the head. I don't quite see the dinosaur. That's actually not a bad game title. Fish or car. Oh no, but you get. So this is going to be a game in the future where you get just lots of sheets. So one of them will be fish or car. Let me see if I've got the other ones. Here we go. This one, love heart or skull. And so one person was trying to make it look like a love heart. Let me actually get rid of this little window. One person was trying to make it look like a love heart. One person's trying to make it look like a skull. And then we've got this one, which is ghost or tree. So I don't know if you can sort of see the faint lines. The idea is that you'd play yeah. But anyway, that's a game that I play tested last Friday. It was fun. I play tested it a couple of times yesterday, and the person said, "Oh, this is really good. Can I post the? That's interesting. That's interesting," says Panda. Thank you very much. And again, thank you very much for the raid. And I wish I was like a musician. I mean, you know what? Just for you, Panda, just because I've not had a raid in a while, if you want, you can suggest a song. And if I know the song, then I will play the song on maybe with my mouth, because my keyboard is like all packed up in the corner there. But the link was to my previous Kickstarter. So that Kickstarter is now done. you can't back the Kickstarter anymore. That finished tonight. This was the closing ceremony. But yeah. So, and assuming you're saying that my game idea is interesting, I'm glad to hear that, and I hope that that will be something that people are more willing to print and play, because there's no cutting involved. It's literally just print it, and then as long as you've got 2 colors of pens, you can play it. Boom, easy. Although I would recommend having not super light colors, because you want to cover up the kinds of, be darker than the grey. So you want to be darker than that grey, basically. But yes, can people still support the project, asks Alex. No, people cannot. I do not do pledge managers. It might be time for me to consider doing pledge managers. I have also considered moving to GameFound. That is something I would definitely consider if GameFound were to open up themselves. And I understand the concept. It looks really great, but game name doesn't need to include all the things from the images. Also, someone, Mandela, designer of Glasgow, and also designer of other games that are coming. Hello, Timmy. Lovely to see you. Mandela suggested Drawn Together as a title. Anyway, that is my thing. So let's go back and do this all over again. Let me do my normal finish, and then Panda, again, if you've got any song, let me know, like write it down, and I will, you know what, if I don't know the song, I will just sing the lyrics to the tune of a totally different song. That's what you'll get. I'll do it for a minute. If it's a really long song, I'll only sing a minute of it. But the question of the day was, what would you like to see me do next? What would you be excited for me to do? Do you have any suggestions or any things of encourage or any recommendations, any tips? What would you like to see from me? That is my question to you. Now, over to you. What are you up to? You can share a button if you want to. As we round up, what are you going to be doing? We've got a wonderful crowd. I'm going to be checking, is Loozapalooza going on? I'm going to be maybe making a bit of dinner, having a bit of dinner. I'm going to be sleeping. I'm going to be probably doing a wee Kickstarter update, and yeah, going to sleep. California Love. It's like California Love. In the city of Venus. In the city. I will sing all the lyrics. I will look it up if that's the song that you're looking for. And we will, or the show must go on. I do not know that song. Interesting. No, I do not know. I definitely do not know this song. But yes. So what are you up to after this show? I'm going to, set something to cook in the oven, colouring in, go to sleep. That is my plan. What are you up to? The most important question is, what is your favourite vegetable? Says Luke Marcus. Well, I wrote in the Kickstarter, I really do like beetroots and how they turn everything red. I know that I'm well known for wearing red, and I know that I was picking between the 3 vegetables, but genuinely, beetroots turning everything red, I love that novelty. Also, a shout out to okra and aubergines. Boom. Yeah, those are good vegetables. Let me recap and wrap up before we finish up. So, recap and wrap up. So, let me get the banner. So, we had a closing ceremony for a game about quickly grabbing creatures and count that are totally different and counting your vegetables. It went well. It will get made by me making stuff. It's another Bezzy bargain bag. It's not as different as my first ones, but it's still experimental. I am trying to lower the accessibility barrier. I'm trying to reduce the cost. But then, in truth, there is still a lot of cost involved in print and play. I think that I could do more to lower the accessibility barrier and the cost by having community copies, and that is something that I would do in future. I think that experimentation is super important. I think that a couple of my games, I would say at least 3 of the games that I've started on since the start of last year, at least 3 of them, and I know this might sound like bragging, I hope it really isn't. I hope it doesn't sound too much like bragging, but I believe that 3 of my games are actually experimental, not just for me, not just for allowing myself to learn about games, allowing myself to have my blue period, and Reiner Knizia experimented with auctions, someone else experiments with polyominoes. I like to experiment with speed games, and there's some value in that, but also 3 of them, the noises, the compliments, and this, like, these are things that I don't think would exist at all if it wasn't for me. Is it really an experiment? Not as much, but it's still an experiment for me. It's still making me a better designer, and that's important. Who should back it? Well, you've missed your chance. Maybe I should do Pledge Managers in future. How did it go? It went brilliantly. It was my second biggest campaign ever. Let me try and actually I've forgotten all the questions now. Oh, I could have gone to the YouTube. Were there any surprises, good or bad? I was reminded, and it was a slight surprise to see how people really tended not to like a print and play version. I was also slightly surprised by how many people backed and gave me extra money. I mean, I think it might have been like 10 people or something that were just, oh, I like what you're doing, Bez. Here's £5 extra. I was, wow, these people are just giving me extra money because they really support me, and that was a delightful thing. Anything I would do differently? Yes, I would only have one version. This was a little bit too much stress. I would go back to having all the art of the time. I would almost try to frame it as, we've got the game, now we're going to do everything around it. Now we're going to do, now we're actually funding for, this, because the truth is, none of this is for the game. The game was basically made already, and any profit that I make, I said this in the middle, but it's going to go to my next game. It's going to keep me making stuff. And I kind of feel like I want to be more honest about it. I want to be more straight up, because we all know it, but it's just the reality of the situation. And what will people get? They'll get what they backed for. They'll get it, hopefully by the end of May. Everyone will get their stuff. That's it. And I talked about community copies. So for now, Josie says, this evening I'm playing some Goose Goose Duck and then bed, although I'm contemplating an ice cream. Timmy says, my favourite vegetable is potatoes. I love French fries, says Timmy. I can dig it. True story, the biggest source of vitamin C in the UK is potatoes. It might be a tiny amount, but there's vitamin C in every potato, and people eat so gosh darn much of it that people are having potatoes as their dominant source of vitamin C. True story. Anyway, so that is the end. And at this point, I'm going to do a quick this is going to be a terrible thing. California love. California knows how to party. California knows how to party. In the city of LA. In the city of good old Watson. In the city of Compton. We keep it rockin'. We keep it rockin'. Now let me welcome everyone to the Wild Wild West, a state that's untouchable like Elliot Ness. The track hits your eardrum like sag to your chest. Pack a vest for your Jimmy in the city of sex. We in that sunshine stay with a bomb-ass hemp beat. The state where you never find a dance floor empty. And pimps be on a mission for them greens. Lean, mean money-making machines serving fiends. I've been in the game for 10 years, making rap tunes ever since Honey was wearing Sassoon. Now it's 95 and the clock man watched me. Diamonds shining, looking like a Rob Liberace. It's all good. From Diego to the Bay, your city is the bomb if your city making pay. Throw a finger if you feel the same way. Dre putting down for California. I know this is completely knows how to party. California knows how to party. In the city of LA. In the city of Compton. Chicka chicka baby, chicka chicka baby, chicka chicka mama, chicka chicka. Chicka chicka baby, chicka chicka. Chicka chicka. Chicka chicka. Okay, that's all you're getting. But I hope that was fun. And let me go back to the thing. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Thank you for those emojis. And thank you again for the raid, Panda Angel. I really appreciate it. Phantom Meeple says, I absolutely love broccoli. I could eat it by the pound. And for those who don't know, a pound is, I believe, about half a kilo. That's a lot of broccoli. I mean, but then the other question is, like, when you say eat it by the pound, do you mean like 1 pound? Now I'm ready for another pound. Oh, like multiple pounds in one sitting? Or do you mean like, hey, I buy it by the pound and I'm eating it by the pound, but I'm taking a while to eat my pound of broccoli? Yeah, like, how do you like your broccoli? Also, for me, I don't like any vegetable boiled too much. I'd like it steamed and then fried with a little bit of maybe garlic on it, maybe some sesame seeds. Yeah, just lightly fried. That's how I'm all about it. But for now, yeah, that is the end of the show. There's basically, if you want to check me out, I am Stuff by Bez everywhere. If you want to know my future streams, check out stuffbybez.com/streams. I am only streaming normally at 10 a.m. UK time, unless it's an episode that ends in 2 zeros, or I am doing a Kickstarter. So, for the record, if you are US based, on the 13th of April is going to be my 600th Bezzy Beats and Board Game Bladder show. And I will have Amabel Holland. I will have other people. I don't know who else will be there. I will be there. And I won't go for like 25 hours. No. None of that's nonsense. I'm going to be doing a light show, like maybe 8 hours long. Something sensible so that I can actually go out, maybe even go dancing that same evening, enjoy a normal day, go to sleep at a normal time, and then carry on the next day. So the new system is I'm going to keep on streaming every day from now on at 10 a.m. UK time. If you want to check out what I'm up to, check out that link, share, spread the word. Thank you very much, everyone. I want to say a special thank you to everyone who backed my Kickstarter. It has been really nice how well it's gone. As I say, it didn't go as well as my last Kickstarter, but if every Bezzy bargain bag that I do does as well as this, then I will be delighted. And I've got a lot more ideas to come. I promise you, there's a lot more stuff for me to come. A lot more stuff from me to come. Yes. Thank you, Panda, for the raid. Thank you, everyone who's here. Thank you, Josie, Alex, J Fool's Guard, Phantom Meeple, Timmy, Luke Marcus, and I'm sorry for Flo. Anyone whose name I've forgotten, I do massively apologize. Phantom Meeple says, by the way, lightly steamed with a bit of crunch with garlic and butter. Butter does make everything better. Yep, 600. It would be quite a twist if you weren't there. Speaking of which, April the 1st is next Friday. I will be doing a 10 a.m. stream. Last year, For my 1st of April stream, Dina interviewed me and I was wearing green. I will be doing something different for this 1st of April. I don't know how entertaining or interesting or whatever it will be, but I am looking forward to it, and yep, it will be ridiculous and silly. Yeah, but for now, if you're in the thing, then please join the raid. Let's put in the raid command and copy paste that raid so that wherever we go, they get lots of love hearts. Who is actually streaming? Oh my gosh, Loozapalooza is still going. There's Dungeons and Dice and Danger. Loozapalooza, there's Shut Up and Sit Down, there's a Pandemonium, there's Paula Denning, Gamer Montu. I don't know Gamer Montu. Let's go with Loozapalooza. Lovely people, and I almost never have the chance to stream and to raid into them. Oh, look, Marcus. No, that is not what I'm doing. Definitely not. Not even. That's disappointed in that. So please join the raid, copy paste the message, and for now, unless anyone has anything left to say, there is only time to say bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go goodbye, bye, bye, bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, bye, everyone. Bye, bye, Alex. Thank you for kickstarting a game about quickly grabbing creatures that's really different and counting your vegetables along. Bye bye, Luke Marcus. Bye bye, J Fool's Guard. Bye bye, Josie. Bye bye, Pansy Angel. Bye bye.